So you want to start working on your own graphics for your business. Perhaps you've just recently started your business and you've realized you need to create marketing graphics. Or maybe you've already been doing a few things but you feel like you just don't know what you're doing. So you really want to get to know how to use Canva. You've opened it up and you have no idea what you're doing. This video is for anyone that wants to get started in Canva to create graphics for their business but feels a little bit overwhelmed and a little bit uncertain when they've jumped into Canva for the first time. This is the 2024 guide to getting started in Canva because, well, Canva is always changing all the time, so it will probably change over the years, and so I'll have to make updates. And so if you're watching this in 2024, this is going to help you get started in Canva. So if you're ready to become confident in Canva, let's dive in. All right, so you've just got started in Canva, so you're probably feeling a bit overwhelmed and unsure because you want to be able to create graphics, but you're not sure just how to get started. So in this video, I'm just going to show you the basics of getting started. I'm not going to show you all the different fancy things you can do and every single possibility. It's more about just getting you comfortable in the program so you know some of the basics so that you can get started, and then you'll be able to learn more advanced things and all the different stuff that you can do. But if you know these basics, it's going to make you feel more confident getting in the program and getting started. And I know something like this I would have found helpful when I first got started, because I put off using Canva for years because I just was like, oh, it's something I'm going to have to learn and figure out. And so sometimes just getting that help getting started can make a big difference, because then you know, okay, I know the basics, now I can start learning some more advanced, more interesting things. The first thing we want to do is creating our design. So this is where we're going to set what size we want to create something at. So we come up to this purple button up the top here and create a design. So preset sizes in here. So if there's a particular thing that you've got in mind that you want to make, you might want to search and see if they've already got the preset size. So if you wanted to make, for example, a Facebook post, you can put in Facebook post, and it's going to come up with these ones. So you can hover over it and it's going to show you the size. So you can double check that that is in fact the size that you want. Now, if you're going through this and you can't find the size you want, or you want something very custom, you can go here to custom size and put in the exact dimensions you want. So if you're doing something for web, you're going to want to go with pixels. If you're printing something, you're going to want to choose centimeters, inches, or millimeters. And it's just going to be based off what size you're going to be printing this. So let's just go with one of the custom sizes they've got in here. So let's try Instagram post here. So you're going to select that and it's going to open a new page for you. Now, first of all, it's going to give you a single page. So if you want to have multiple pages, what you can do is there's a few different options for making pages, and I'm going to show you. So first of all, you can just click underneath here where it says add page, and it will give you a new page, and you can keep doing that for as many pages as you want. Now, the other way you can do it, you can press here where it says show pages, lift that up, and you've got a little plus here and you can add pages. You can also go to grid view. So over here, you'll hover over that grid view and you can click the plus there to add pages as well. Now, similarly, you can also delete pages. If you select a page and press delete on your keyboard, you can remove pages. So let's go back to this view. Now, something you might want to do first though, when you want multiple pages, is you may want to consider what elements are going to go on every page. So if you've got a particular background color that's going to be on every page, or maybe you have some elements on every page, first design that on that first page. Then you're going to come up here and press duplicate page. And that way you're not having to redo it for every single page. So if every page is going to be completely different, first put all those pages out there, get them all set. But if you want to duplicate certain elements, I would start by designing those initial elements on that first page, then duplicate them. And so it's going to be a lot easier for you because you're not having to restart for every single page. Now you'll notice up the top here, you also have the option to lock a page, to hide a page, and to just add the page here as well, or delete. So there's a few different things that you can do with your pages here too. All right, so now you've got your initial pages. Now we want to start putting our elements on it. So if we come over to the side here, we have elements. So you can see there's a few different things here. So we've got recently used. So once you get started, start designing things, it's going to show you the things you most recently used, which can be very handy if you want to keep using similar elements all the time. Rather than trying to search for them each time, you can easily find those ones that you recently used and grab them again. Now I've also got here shapes. So if you want basic shapes, you can come in here and grab any shape or line that you want to use. Now to put the shape on your page, you're just going to click and it's going to put it on the page that you are on. And as you can see, something here is flickering, and that's because you can also put text inside a shape. Now, if you don't want text inside the shape, you don't need to worry about that. But if you do, you can click in there and type. So once you've got your shape, you can now make edits to it. So you've got up here, if you wanted to, once you've made all these different colors and things like that, if you're like, actually, I don't want a circle, I think I want something else, you can actually go to this shape one and it's going to change the shape. So if you've edited it, added text, added different colors, then you change your mind about what shape you want, you can go in here and actually change the shape. Now here we've got color and you can choose your color. Now you've got here, there's default colors. You can click on this plus icon and you can add in a hex code. You can also create gradients, so you can also put in multiple colors and choose a gradient style. Then you've got here border, so if you want a border around it, you can choose how thick it will be. And then with the rounding, that's for things that are square. So let's just, for a second, change this to a square to show you. So if we go back to this one and corner rounding, that'll round off the corners. Now here you'll see here border color, and you can choose what color you want that border to be. And if you put in text in here, you can also choose what kind of font you want. So you can choose a font, the font color, all those sort of things, the sizing and all that. Now we've got line here, and you simply can change the color, the width of the line. You can have dashed or dotted. You can also add ends to it, so you can make arrows or different ends to the line. You can make it curved, so we can add this curved one in here, see? You can start making these curves, or we've got here this curve. So we can do different fun things with our lines here. Now another thing with shapes here, if you go over here to transparency, you can also put the transparency of a shape down if you want to as well. And when you have multiple shapes, if you want to change the order that they're in, we can go here to position and go to layers, and you can actually move things around. Now you can also, by right clicking, go to layer, you can do things like send to back. But if you want to move things exactly in a particular order, you can go over to this layers panel and move things exactly where you want them. Now going back to elements again, we also have graphics. So there's lots and lots of graphics in Canva that you can utilize. So the best thing to do is, if you have something in mind that you're looking for, go to the search and search what you're looking for. So let's say we want a leaf. I'm going to put in leaf, and you can go through and find one that you like and place it on your page. Now, some of them are editable, some are not. So when you put it on your page, if you see at the top here these colors, you have the option then to change the color of that element. Now, not all are going to have that option, but some of them do. So if you're looking to customize it to your brand colors, then you want to look for ones that do have that option. You've also got the option here of edit image, where you can do other things to it, like play with duotone to change the colors that way. So if it doesn't have those options of changing the colors up in here with those color palette, then you can change it through other methods by using the edit image and duotone. An element that you really like and you want more elements that are similar kind of style and feel, you can click on that element and then click on this info button. And it's going to give you more details about that element, so you can find more things similar. So you can look at the keywords and try and find other things with those words. You can also star it if you want to hang on to it because you love it and you really want to come back to it another time, or even put it in a folder. You can also click here on who created it. So if we click on that, we can find other things by that same creator. And that can sometimes be really handy if you want other things of a similar style, because they've obviously, as you can see here, created other designs in that similar style. So if you find something you really love, want more images that are similar, that's a great way to find them. Now going further down, we've also got here AI generated images. So if you want to play around with that and try AI, you can give that a go. They've got here stickers, so they're just moving graphics basically. So as you can see, when you put them on the page, they move around. Then we have photos. So there is a huge photo library in Canva, which you can use. Now, if you have got the free version, there's plenty of free images, but there's also some pro images. And you'll notice the pro images will have a little pro symbol with a little crown. And then you'll know, see here, like this one, pro. You will need a pro account to use those particular images. So there is plenty out there that are free, but if you keep finding images you really love and want to use that are pro, you may want to consider upgrading, but that's completely up to you. Now with photos, you can just place them on the page like this. Now we can crop them, so we can grab the edge and crop it. You can also double click and you can move where it is within that crop, and also resize it within the crop. and even rotate it within that crop. And again, you can go to this edit photo and you're going to find a few different options if you want to play around and edit your photo. So you can remove the background, just click once and it's going to remove the background. You've also got some fun things like Magic Edit where you can change things within the image. And you've also got adjustments here, so we can change like the brightness and the tint and all those sort of things. So if you want to edit the image in some way, click on that edit photo and look around, see what things are there to edit, to make the edits that you want to make. Here you can see too, we have some effects, so you can add things like drop shadows and blurs and focus, even face retouching. So there's lots of different things that you can try and play with if you want to make edits to your photos. Now I'm just going to jump down ahead here because this is also relevant to photos, and that's frames and grids. Now here in frames, it's basically putting the photo within a frame. So you can go and find a frame that you like, put it on the page. Then you can go back to photos and you can drag and drop a photo in that frame. And again, like with the cropping, you can double click and you can move how it's cropped within that frame. So frames are really handy for making something that's not just that basic square, like with the photo that you just plonk on the page, you can make it different shapes. So frames are something that are really fun to work with. And there's also too, as you can see under here, grids. So if you want to put something in a grid on the page, maybe you're doing a photo gallery, you can click on a grid. And you can also adjust the spacing of that grid depending how you want it. And again, you can just drag and drop photos in. And with anything where it's photo, as you can see here, you can also do video. So we've got under here video as well. So photo or video work very similar in Canva. And in most instances, anything where you can put a photo, you could also instead put a video. Then we have charts. So charts, if you want to make some sort of chart, there's a lot you can choose from here. You just want to put it on the page, and then we can click on edit here. And you can change all the information, then it's going to adjust it to your data. So you can put all your data into the table. You can choose the colors that you want it to be. Basically, just customize it to exactly what you want. You can adjust the column spacing, the roundness of it. Basically, make it your own, even changing the font, all of that. So you can make various charts for data you want to share and make them how you want them to look. And finally, in our elements section here, we've got tables. So if you want to create a table, you've got a few different ones you can choose from to start with. You place it on the page, and then you're going to click on these three dots to do things like merge cells, add columns, delete columns, move columns right, things like that. So you can adjust it to what you want. Now you can also do things like changing the border width here. Now if you see, if we click here on that, then border width, it's only going to change those particular ones. We can also change the table spacing and cell spacing. Then you can choose the font. So once you start putting text in here, you can change the font and all those things. Now if we select these top ones here, also if we go on color, we can choose the color of the ones we've selected. So you can make your own tables in Canva too. So play around with that to create any tables you want to create. So basically that's really quickly summarizing up elements in Canva. Obviously there's way more that we can do, but at least that will get you started so you can start to feel a bit more confident playing around with elements and putting things on the page in Canva. So now we've also got text, and we want to click this purple text box. Now you can set up your own brand where you put your brand fonts, but again, we just want to get to the basics right now just so you feel confident getting in here. So we can click this add a text box. As you can see, you can pull to make it bigger, and if you do this, that shrinks that area that it can be within, so sort of cropping the area that that text can be within. Then when we select the text, we can choose fonts. So in Canva, there are heaps of fonts. There are free fonts, there are pro fonts, and if you're on pro, you can also upload a font. So if you've got your own font, you can also upload one in. Now to find a font, what you want to do is think about the type of font you want. So if you wanted a bold font, for example, you can type in bold and it's going to give you some different bold fonts. If you want a playful font, you can put in playful and it's going to give you different playful fonts. So you've got to think about, well, what kind of font do I want? And that's going to basically cut down the list of things that you're looking at. So you don't have to look through every font on Canva, and you can find one that's suitable for you. Now you can change the sizing, you can change the color, you can also change things like bold and italic and underline depending on the font. Some fonts you can, some you can't depending on that font. To underline, strike through, you can also make it all caps. So let's find one that's not already
like this. If we pressed all caps, it turns all cap. You can also change the alignments, you know, left aligned, center aligned, right aligned, all that. You can also create lists, so you can do a list here or numbered lists. You can then go to spacing and change the letter spacing and also the line spacing. And then we've got here effects. So if you want to do more fun things with your text, you can do things like drop shadows, or you can even curve your text. So definitely if you want to add some different effects to your text, check out this effects panel to have a play around, try things out and see what you can do in there. Now I've got here position, which again will bring up this layers thing, and also arrange. So if you want to move where it sits on the page, like if you want your text to sit exactly center, you can press center and middle and it's going to move it to exact center for you. Now, as you're moving things around on the page, you'll also see these little pink lines show up, and that's going to show you the center line too. So if you're moving something around trying to get it centered, you'll see those pink lines pop up when it's centered. So if we've got it down the bottom, but we want it center on the page here, that's going to pop up. If we want it center on the side here, that's going to pop up, or full centered on the page. So as you can see, that's really handy for making sure you've done that. Now also with alignment, if we go up here to File, Settings, we can go to Show Rulers and Guides, and you'll get the rulers on the page, and you can also put guidelines in. So you can click and drag from that ruler and you'll see the number on the side there, and you can actually put in a guideline for you. So if you want guidelines to help you, you can do that. Also, again, you've got here show margins, so if you want margin lines in. And if you're going to be printing this, you probably want to show bleed. So you can go in here and show print bleed. And that's if you're printing something, to make sure you don't end up with white lines on the edge. Also always make sure your designs go over that bleed. So that's how you set up those extra guidelines if you need them in your design. Now, these guides are not going to print, so don't panic about all these lines on your page. It's just to help you to design so you can see what's going on and make sure everything aligns nicely. Now, the last thing when it comes to the basics is uploading. So as you saw, we went through those elements, all those things that are already in Canva, but you can also upload your own elements. So any kind of photos, any pictures, graphics, even videos and audios you can see here, you can upload them. So you just want to come to this upload section and go upload file and upload whatever you want to bring into Canva. Now, there are limitations if you're on free. I think you can only have a certain amount of capacity on there. But it depends what you're doing. You may want to start with free, see how far it takes you, and if you're finding you're hitting that capacity, you may want to go pro so you can upload more things. And when you put something that you've uploaded in, you can treat it just like the stuff that's already in Canva. So I brought this photo in and I can go to edit photo, and I've still got all those tools. So I still can do the background remover, adjustments, and all those things. So just like the elements within Canva, you can also edit your own elements as well. So once you've had fun with this and created what design you want to create, you started to experiment a bit in Canva and you're happy with something and you actually want to use it, you want to go to Share and Download. And this is where we can actually download that file that you've created to your computer to start using. So you've got here file types. You can choose what type of file type you would like. If you want a JPEG, PNG, a PDF, SVG, or if you're doing a video, an MP4 or a GIF. So you can choose what you want. Then you're going to look at size. So you can have it just the size you already made it, or you can actually upsize it if you want to. Then if you're doing things like PNG, you can choose transparent background. Now, as you can see here, some things you require Pro. So it's going to depend if you're using free or Pro. Then you're going to choose the pages you want. So if you want to download everything, just make sure it's all pages. But if you want to download a particular page only, you're going to select the page you want to download and then done. So it's up to you if you want to do all the pages that you've downloaded. Now, if you download all the files at once, it's going to put it in a zipped folder. Whereas if you just choose one, it will just download it as that one single file. So once you're happy, you pick what you want to download and you've got the settings you want, you just click download and it's going to save it to your computer. Said there is so much more when it comes to Canva, and there's probably things I've forgotten to share because there is a lot going on in Canva, but this video is more about just making you feel confident to get started, because once you get started you're going to feel a bit more confident to explore, try things out and learn different things within the program. It's just about getting comfortable. So you're like, yeah, I feel a bit more comfortable using this program, I've got a bit of a better idea of how to get started, and now I can learn more. So I'm hoping that if you just wanted to get to know Canva, if you're brand new and maybe you've just been scared to use it because you're like, I don't even know where to start, This has helped you to just get started, get a little bit more comfortable in the program so you can explore it more and start learning how to use it.
I really hope that you found this helpful and it's made you feel a little bit more confident getting started in Canva. And of course, if you'd like to learn more about using Canva, about graphic design and branding so that you can confidently design amazing graphics and become your own designer, be sure to subscribe to this channel so you can learn more.